Hi guys, how are you? Welcome one more time in this episode of EnPlenaEscuela. This is an episode that I created for the intentions to promote fulfillment. This is my second episode that I'm doing in English, and today I have a very special guest with us that I was thinking because lately I've been seeing so many troubles and people feeling alone, try to match, try to use apps to date people, try to make the relation works. But for me, and as I said in different episodes in Spanish, is like always you need to make sure that you are good, you are balanced, you have fulfillment as an individual, and then you are able to work with someone else. Right now, from this beautiful weather, beautiful night in Chicago, I have the pleasure to present my favorite person right now in the world that I want to introduce you, and we'll talk about a little bit our relation. I think the only way that I can be able to give advices, give opinions, present my own thoughts should be always related with some actions, some reality, and who else than my girlfriend to present you guys what is going on. So without names, without and try to give it an anonymous, I wanted you guys to hear us discuss for a few minutes what for us is works as a relation, what is our advice for you guys that try to fill it up with someone else, and what is the main problems in all the people that right now in this world that is going without values, without confusing some ideologies and try to present things that are natural that isn't. If you are not hearing my last episode, it was about what is normal and what is nature, and depends of that we try to make things that are nature against that, and we try to make it as a normal and what is the difference between. So if you haven't heard that, I will suggest you to hear my last episode, but this one will be mainly focusing three sections. One, what I need to know first to get into a relation, when I'm relation, why that relation doesn't work, and third, what for us is the secret to why the relations are working. So I will want to welcome into my guest. Welcome, how you feel today?
Hello, it's a big pleasure to be part of this podcast. I'm feeling amazing with this weather in Chicago. I cannot say anything else except I'm very happy.
So guys, I'm so sorry for you if you are not able to see us, but we are in a living room enjoying a pleasant wine through the window. So if you hear some noise, please try to don't pay attention on that and try to listen what we wanted to share. So first, I want to ask you, why you think it's so important to be fulfilled, to be complete before you get into a relation, and why don't be in that state of mindset messed up all when you try to be in a relation.
I feel the first thing is that people need to do is trust themselves and respect themselves first. Because if you do not do those things, if you don't respect yourself, it's very hard to think that somebody else will respect you and treat you the way that you think you deserve.
Do you think the women are more weakened than men or more strong than men?
I don't think so. I think they're both equally strong. It just depends how you expose yourself. Um, but I think they both complete each other. The women without men cannot survive in the world, and it's the opposite way. Men without women cannot survive in the world. So I think that is a great combination that God and nature created for us.
What you will say that was the three lessons that you learned before to be in a relation that make you allow to be capable of to be in a relation stable?
I feel honesty is the key. Uh, I never supported a lie, and I feel if you are with someone that you really love, you have to respect and trust on that person, um, because lie is one thing that will never keep your relationship strong. So if you're with someone that you really love, if you're with someone that you have a big plans and stay with that person forever, the most important thing is one of the things I said previously, to respect yourself first and then that way that other person will love you and respect you. And one other thing that I will say, be who you are. Never pretend or go crazy or be like, okay, if I'm not pretty enough or if I'm not, I don't know, handsome enough, my girlfriend or boyfriend won't love me. So just respect yourself at the first place and be honest with the person you really respect and you love.
Now that you mentioned that, we always joke around, and I said like love without condition. And in the first step, you cannot never put expectations that you have over someone else, because when you do that, you are always given a chance to be disappointed. It's for that reason you need to accept what is your um, weaknesses and what is your strength, and from that you have to be willing to offer that without expecting nothing back. I think that what you mentioned is very important, and I will highlight the fact that you said respect themselves, don't lie, and I will add something, and that is don't lie yourself. Don't try to pretend someone, and that is completely what you said later. That is that so many people that I know, mostly men, they try to pretend someone that they are not, and they do try to catch that women, and when they catch it, then the mask fall down, and
Yeah.
yes, and they are exposed, and that the people get disappointed, I would say. And the same with women sometimes that what they anything that they have to offer is only beauty and physique, but it's all why I'm personally against, and a lot of fillers, a lot of botox, a lot of too much makeup, because this is indirectly one way do you lie. You are not presenting who you really are, and that I will have to mention how men and women works. Like always, I'm very promoted on the idea that men's by nature we are protective and providers, and women's always are more into to take care and multiply, and this is a role by nature. And when we try to avoid that role for those movements of feminists and things like that, you are taking away your more and a strong nature facts of of gifts that God gives to us to use to provide as a community and works together. We saw history and we saw how the Vikings work, men's go to war, men's go to find food. And why? Because if the men's die, in some way it doesn't matter. Women need to be in home to be able to keep the community work. Because without women, it's impossible a community or a system or society grows. So is why those two roles need to be played with a lot of accountability. And in relation right now, what I'm seeing is people want someone else that love me, to provide me, to give me. But my question is always, what do you think is the best assets that women has to offer to a man?
Um, I would say what we have like today's problem is I'm again going like that you don't think you are pretty enough or something, and that's a good point you make. Like a lot of botox, a lot of like makeup and everything. You have to realize that beauty will pass. Of course, we have makeup to make us more beautiful and everything, but I hate when I'm hearing, I had a lot of friends that they are saying I have makeup 24 hours. Like I cannot allow myself to wake up next to a guy without a makeup. The first thing I go before he makes up, I go put the makeup on. Like beauty will pass. What is most important is what is inside. And then that is a great point back to what you said for the Vikings.
Sorry for interrupting you. What do you think about the idea that men's we don't care about what you have inside and we care only how you look or how is your ass or your boobs or your face? What do you think about that thought?
I still believe there are guys like that still, and I don't know if they don't want to change, but that is just what they see in a woman. But I feel those kind of women will never be women that they will end up marrying, introduced to their family, because no matter how pretty you are, no matter how much botox you put or how professional your makeup is, if you don't know the capital of France, or if you don't know how much is 2 plus 2, like you're dumb. Like you cannot allow that to yourself. If you have to be equally beautiful and smart woman, because that can be example that you have to be with someone and give it to your kids.
So I completely agree with you and the idea that as individuals we need to realize what we have to offer first. And as a man, I can give you advice. The men's, we sometimes try to focus only how much we can provide or how much money we make. But at the end, I will give you a thought, and it's who you are as a man. What is your assets as a man? You are a good protective. You are a good. What is your things that you have an offer that no one can take of? And this is why stoicism is the thing that I try to preach and learn and apply to be current as a man. And what the best that we have as a man is our word. When you say something, you must have to achieve whatever you say. The coherence is the most important part when you are trying to be in a relation, because how is possible that you can convince one woman to say something but she realizes that you are not? This is a scam. This is you really messed up. And to close this first scenario, you need to realize who you are, what you have to offer, and what is your position by nature. Then, when you are ready, when you really realize what you have, you are is the first step that you have to do. That root is needed so you can start to be allowed to go into a relation. Because another thing that I don't like, and I used to be those men when I was very young, that I grow up with the idea that men's to conquer more women is more masculine. But at the same time, I was raised by one single mother that she taught me. She taught me that the most important as a man is to really respect a woman. So it took me a while and a lot of mistakes to realize that my duty is really protect that woman and treat her like the most valuable thing. And what I give that to that woman in exchange, she will be able to give me support and take care of the rest of the things that I am not naive to take care of. So when you have those roots settled down, you know what you want, you know who you are, you know what you have to offer. Only if you don't have those three answers of those questions, I would recommend you to don't go inside any serious relation. If you are not going in any serious relation, better be honest with the person that you are doing. And if it's only physical, be physical. It's only emotional, be emotional. It's only temporary, be temporary. But it's not fair to you play with people thinking that it only matters what you want. And right now that exists of ego is what is damaged the society. Is the people want to be called whatever they think they are. People want to be do whatever they want, and is the only thing matters. And because my goal is whatever it is, I will do everything that takes, even though I go over someone else to achieve that. I will do it. And it's only excess of authoritarianism, of narcissism, and lack of humble to be really accept that you need help. So when that you are inside of the relation, what you will say is the three things that you is more valuable for you to keep a stick with that person and the relation. Can you mention three things that you are seeing right now in your present relation that is more important and why you want to stick with that person?
I have to say, like, I agree with all those things that you said.
Sorry guys, we lose a little bit the connection, but keep going with the question. It's very important for us to define where they are, where I am, as in the first place. I think it's not fair when we start to play with someone else's emotions, feelings, because as individuals we have so many facts that affects us as individuals, and when we are not completely fulfilled, is where we started to make troubles, and we want the other person start to fill it up those emptiness that we have, and we put in some way in conscience those emptiness that we feel that obligated to other person to fill it up for us when it's our responsibility to be happy. I am very, very, very promoted at the idea that you need to be happy and no one will make you happy. The only thing that you did in your life is share what you feeling, what you are, who you are, and that is the way that works. Being a relation is jump and the age of a mountain without any warranty, but it's because you decide, and it's for that reason you will never blame someone else to achieve your intentions, to achieve your goals, to achieve your expectations, because it's not obligated another person to achieve those goals for you. You are the only obligated to make you happy, and when you are happy you don't bother someone else. When you have goals in your life, you don't even take time to bother someone else. When you know who you are, you don't need to approve or affirmation for someone else to tell you who you are. When you know where you're going, you will not need no one to distract you. So I will repeat the question for you, and is what is the three things that you most value right now that you're in the relation, when you feel that is the most basic needs to really work out in a relation, and why it's so hard in those days?
One of the things that I will bring is something that you previously mentioned. It's very important to know what you want. What I mean by that is, if you just want a short relationship, or if you are dating a guy or a girl and you are like, I don't know how this is gonna last, that's totally fine. But like, if you want something serious, if you really think you found someone, you have to expect not everything is perfect at the beginning, and you cannot like leave the person after like a few fights. You have to understand that we are not perfect. Nobody's perfect in today's world. And the other thing that I would mention is connected with that first thing would be communication. I always say that communication is the key. Nobody can know how you feel unless you talk to them. If something bothers you about your partner, they cannot know unless you tell them. And that is the thing, if you both love each other and if you both want to have a great relationship, and even more than that, you have to talk it out. Like, communication is a big thing that a lot of couples don't do today. And unfortunately, I have a few of my friends that they would only be with someone just so they don't end up alone, and they are in certain age where they think, okay, I had many failed relationship, and right now I'm in a relationship, I'm not even that happy, but I'm just gonna be with someone just to not end up alone. And that is very sad, because nobody's happy in those kind of relationship. They don't communicate. Many times I see couples and I can tell that they're really not happy. They don't communicate. And that is very, very important in any relationship.
So between you and me, you are very emotional and very rational. How you find the balance to manage both? Like, why you don't get crazy, and why you don't obligate me to be emotional as you, and why I don't obligate you to be rational as I?
Because I feel we learn a lot from each other and we accepted each other the way we are. The very important thing is you don't want to change that person. You just want to work out on your relationship. If something bothers me or you, we're going to talk it out. We don't keep it in ourselves. And that is very, very important, to listen. Like, you have to listen to your partner, you have to listen to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend, you have to be honest with them, you have to support them even if they are doing things that you think they are not good for them. You have to be there for them.
So basically what you're saying is you are not forcing me to be like you, and I'm not forcing you to be like me. right?
No, because everybody's different. We cannot accept when people say I found my soulmate. That doesn't mean I found the same person that is like me. Okay, we can find someone who likes same music, who likes same places, but sometimes I like something and that my boyfriend didn't like it, but like after spending some time to me, he will start like liking that restaurant or that kind of food, and that is part of like growing up together. But you cannot change their character. You cannot change a person completely. Like I don't think that
But in
is
that
what's gonna
scenario,
help you.
in one issue comes a problem. Who's right?
There is no who's right. Like if couples try to go, I'm right, you're right, then what are you doing together? Like there is no equality in the world. Nobody is like smarter or better. Previously, like in the first few like sections, you brought this. When you said like God created us, we know what women's are here for, we know what men's are here for. Men's are here to protect, right? They're going to protect their family, their women, and then women will give you children, will give you a family. Like that is one thing, but there is no this is not a contest. I'm better, you're better, I'm right, I told you, you didn't listen to me. Like that doesn't exist. Those
Whoa,
kind of
but that
relationships
you're
will never
mentioning right
work
now
out.
is so controversial because it seems like everyone want to pretend to be equal, but what you're saying means that we are not equal. What do you think about it?
um, that is a tricky question because I just want to say, like, we are not competing over here. Like, we are not equal, but at the same time, like, we're equal because we are not competing over here. We know what God created men's for, what He created a women's for. So together, we make a perfect combination. Like, together, like, a couple can make a miracle.
So let me see if I'm understanding what you're saying. So basically, we're equal when it's related with rights, with decisions to or both have equal. But we are different in the sense that you are more emotional than I am and more rational. But we are not competing to see who have more rights or who have more wrong answers. We are really
Exactly.
try to find the way that when we have more strength and some made decisions beside that whatever the situation happened and both can be route always. For example, I remember when we started dating and I set down some philosophy and was the idea that we are on the same team and it's impossible whatever sport that you like. We all said that you like soccer. It's impossible that the goalkeeper lose and the defenders win, or either both lose or either both win. And this is how I see the relation. And I don't know why, in some way, some relations won, or I won this discussion and you lose it. Because that puts us in perspective that we are not looking for the same way. I'm looking you lose, or I'm looking me win. But that only will put in perspective that both will lose. We need to win both or lose both. Otherwise, we are not going in the same page. We are not going the same way. We're doing looking for the same goal. So I think the way that you and me are working is because we are able to hear, to listen, and to give us a point of view. And it's fine if you don't listen to me in some way and an advice. But for me, be together means I will be together in the meanwhile that you are solving your own problems, and you will be with me when I'm solving my own problems. I don't ask you to solve my problems, and you don't ask me to solve your problems. We need to solve it by themselves, but we need only support, and support is what we are looking. We are not looking for someone to resolve our life for us, because sometimes happen to people is the men and are entitled mostly and solve the lives of women, and women then later they don't have word, they don't have opinion, and they feel so betrayed because it's not how was it in the beginning. And sometimes too women want to be right all the time and manipulate the men to achieve whatever they want, but at the end none of those are being happy. And I'm not saying that because I've been talking before in that in my book and La Pirámide de la Plenitud is about like the idea is you are fulfilled. You have to understand that your life is only you who was living that life. No one else can live your life. But sometimes we allow someone else to give the honors of our lives, and I don't know why. And that is why we lose the entitlement of to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be in peace. And and I know so many people that they don't want to go home because they don't find their home as a place that be happy. But they don't want to be accountable or responsible, that they need to be responsible and accountable and solve those problems. They only want to blame the other. They want to blame the partner. They want to blame, oh, because she don't listen. Oh, because she's very stubborn. Or she's emotional. And then the gear comes to the man, and oh, because he is never home, because he don't listen, because he don't pay attention. But at the end, both only is pointed up, but no one is being responsible what I'm doing. I feel like what you said is very, very accurate, and is the idea that we both are equal, or both on our voice have a meaning, but at the end, we need to play the role. Is the way that is pointless be two people doing the same thing, because we will create problems. But we need to be able to trust that you will do your job and I will do my job, and together we'll be able to work. I want to share some intimacy with you guys, and it's the idea that we agree very easy that I don't like to wash dishes and I'm very bad at it. But at first, I need to recognize that I'm bad at it and I don't like it. And then she have to recognize that she's good at it and she like it. But I like cook and she don't like cook. So I'm cook. And my responsibility is cook in this house. But her responsibility is wash the dishes. Why we need to fight? Why have to be a discussion and a fight? And or no, the women need to cook and the men need to work. That is the problem that the people are confusing right now. We are confusing ideologies, philosophies, and we are generalize some ideas that need to be individual, need to be personalized to fix, and every single one needs to find the way that what works for each other. Some relations, maybe the men are good at it cleaning and women are better than cooking. That doesn't mean the women need to do it only and the men only need to clean. Or the same with work, that right now we are in that problems with women's working and men's, what is the position of those? And when kids come, who take care of? A nanny? But at the end, the relation is not taking accountability of the kids. But the kids, they made it. But they are used to not made responsible for their own actions. So they delegate to someone else, a third person, to decide for them. And for me, relations is two people. Three is too much. You cannot be able to involve. And another thing, mostly women's ask for advices for another women's that are worse than them. And then the advices that receive is not the most accurate. And that advices are being listened because we listen more our friends than the old couple, because we allow someone else to come. I think her and I, we are very good not listen no one else and keep our things very private. So whatever happen, we will not go bed until we figure it out. How many times do we are fighting?
Yeah, that is totally normal. Like, we don't live a Hollywood life or a fairy tale or something. Of course, like the most ideal couple that you see on the streets or in the movies, in the movies, that's not realistic. But it's normal to fight, to have discussions, to have everything. But as long as you work it out, and as you just mentioned, we had a discussion. So sometimes, like, some of us is too tired or not in the mood, or I think I did something good, or you think you did something good. But we always, after those discussions, we never go to bed mad because we will always talk it out, and we promised each other it's going to always be like that because we want to listen to ourselves, like we want to listen to each other. A lot of people have a lack of communication, which ends up in getting a divorce or getting, I don't know, end of a relationship. And that is a big issue, whether that be if you have a children, if you're fighting over children, you have to talk it out. If you are not feeling going to your own house because you don't want to go through it and fight again with your own husband or wife or girlfriend, then what are you doing? What do you expect? You have to talk it out. If you want to save that marriage or a relationship, you have to talk it out. Like, it's not gonna get solved by itself. You just have to find a way to talk without having huge fights, without going too crazy. Just like talk it out.
In my book, I promote the idea of IRA. And in IRA, in Spanish, it means ira, that is the angry, right? But in the philosophical way, I split it up in different things, that I as importance, R as a responsibility, and I as acceptance. You need to define what is important. Your relation is important. If this is important, should be the most important thing in the world. And then second is the responsibility. You need to make responsible yourself to what is going on in the relation. And whatever is happening in your life, if you have that trouble with someone, if you are involved in any trouble, means you have some, either too much or little responsibility on it. And you need to take that responsibility with you. If you are trying to avoid your responsibility, you will never be able to modify, to realize, and to improve the relation. And the last part is the acceptance. Acceptance that people are not like you, they don't think as you, they will not do what you want, and they are not thinking and wanted the same that you think. And when you accept that in relation, it's so easy, because your relation is important, you will fight for it. And because if something has happened bad in your relation, you take accountability. And also you accept that maybe when you put your point of view, you will not be understood. This is acceptance. When you accept that the things not need and haven't be like the way that you want, is where you improve the things. And if you put these 3 things in your life, I promise you, you will have a really successful relation. Some conclusions that you want to say?
I just want to say to have a happy, successful, for life relationship, work on your loyalty, honesty, and don't include too many people in your relationship. You cannot, because only the 2 people are in that relationship. You cannot expect someone else will know. Of course, your best friend or sister or brother, they have the best intention for you, but
they have opinion, but they will never know what happened.
Exactly. That is my point. But you have to, at least my advice, and I think that is why are we successful. We always work things between us just by talking to each other. Like, there is no point of with a little fight, just I'm gonna call my best friend. Oh my God!
And never message. Always talk face to face.
Exactly. And yeah, what he just said. Always try to talk each other face to face, because like many other things can go wrong by messaging. You can misunderstand each other, and everything can even be more messy. So better just like talk it out face to face and solve those problems. If you just don't feel like you feel the same, you don't want the same things, don't suffer. Don't force a relationship. Like, just don't force it. End it up. Stay friends after all. But if you think this is something that is worth fighting for, it's just like lack of communication or something, then work it out.
Things take time, and nothing that is worth it will be faster. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for listening. www.EnPlenaEscuela.com. You can visit to me, you can text me, you can have some mentorship, you can buy a book through Amazon, you can send me emails, you can subscribe yourself, consulting, conferences. We are here to help you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have
Thank
a
you
good
so
night.
much, guys. Have a good night.